Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today I have the very first Razer laptop that I will be featuring on this channel. So this example that we have here, as you can see fitting between my hands, is the Razer Stealth, and this is the 2017 variant. It is also known as the RZ09-0239X. Just rolls right off the tongue. This is an 8th generation Intel CPU based laptop that has the i7-8550U, 16 gigabytes of low power DDR3 2133 megahertz RAM, and is usually fitted with an M.2 SSD of 512 gigs from the factory. This laptop only comes in that configuration, which is why we're dumping down on the specs first. A few other things to note is that it does have a 53.6 watt-hour internal battery, which is going to get anywhere from 7.5 to 8 hours depending on how much you push the processing power. It features a Thunderbolt 3 port that of course was designed to be used with the Razer Core eGPU, and sports two very beautiful features. One is of course the RGB backlit keyboard, so if you're into that sort of thing, you've got it on this laptop. And this very glossy, as you can see by the studio lights, 3,200 by 1,800 13.3 inch touchscreen display. And of course that's being driven by the Intel UHD 620 internal GPU. So while this is very much marketed as a laptop for more gaming enthusiasts, it won't necessarily be gaming on its own. It will need that eGPU to make everything run beautifully. So weighing in at about 1.35 kilograms, we do have a basic selection of ports with the Thunderbolt 3 USB Type-C connector, a green colored USB 3.0 port, and a headphone microphone combo jack on the right. And then on the left-hand side, we have HDMI and then another green-colored USB 3.0 Type-A port. And that is essentially it. There are no other ports or connectivity. You do have a 720p web camera and microphone array as standard on most laptops these days. It is also worth noting that the logo lights up when it is turned on, and there is an indicator light on the front end here. Unfortunately, there are no indicator lights for when the laptop is charging or when it's completely charged. Not even the power brick has a LED indicator for such a thing, so if you want to know how much charge you have, the device needs to be on and the device needs to be opened. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and open up this device. To do that, we will need to, of course, navigate into the BIOS and disable the internal battery, but once we've gone ahead and done that, it is a simple matter of getting a Torx, I believe T5, and turning the device over and then removing all of the screws around the edge. So let's go ahead and do that now. And while I'm doing that, I want to talk to you about Razer in general. And one of the reasons why I actually wanted or even considered buying a Razer laptop when I was initially looking to purchase my Surface Book 2. However, there were a couple of things that deterred me from doing so. Ultimately, what it came down to was warranty. There is a 1-year limited warranty only for these devices, and if that's not really unattractive enough, unless you live in the United States, there is no extended warranty coverage. They do have a Razer Care program, although I think that's still relatively new, that you can purchase an additional 2 years of warranty for, I believe, $299 US. But again, that is only available in the United States. In Canada here, if I wanted this laptop serviced, I would be sending it away, and if it was out of warranty, I'm paying out of pocket. Not exactly an ideal situation to be in for what is ultimately a pretty expensive investment, even used. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. With all of the screws out, the cover comes off very, very easily. And we can see, unsurprisingly, that the battery takes up the majority of the space on the inside here. We have two generously sized speakers. We have a fan that's cooling the CPU. And the only things that are not soldered on include the SSD and then the Wi-Fi card. Those are the only things that you're really coming in here to service. Some people might be pleased to see that this is actually a daughter board that has several connections on it, and just barely we can see the CMOS battery tucked in there as well. But beyond that, there really isn't a whole lot to service on the inside of the machine unless you were looking to replace the entire motherboard. So with that being said, I'm going to throw the case back on and I'm going to show you how fast this thing boots, and I have to admit that is seriously impressive. Alright, with everything back together, let's go ahead and open this up and see probably one of the things that impresses me the most about this. As you can see, that is a very, very quick boot time. And it is, in terms of specifications, a very nice machine. However, I do need to point out quite a few drawbacks if you're looking to buy one of these things used. First off, I had a huge deal of a time getting drivers to work properly with the display and internal. I've tried several different versions of the Intel UHD 620 driver pack, and I got screen flickering for nearly all of them. Oddly enough, only under Windows. I boot this thing into Linux and the driver pack worked perfectly fine. How did I get it to stop? Well, right now I've uninstalled all of the Intel drivers and it's running a generic driver pack at the moment, but it doesn't flicker. And the flickering made it quite unusable. And unfortunately, Razer doesn't have any specific driver packs for this. They simply just point you in the direction of Intel. And Intel does have some driver packs for this specific model. However, none of them seem to really solve the problem. So tentatively, I have just uninstalled the drivers to ensure that this thing runs properly. Obviously, because we are running 8th generation Intel, you will get, of course, the option to install Windows 11 no problem. But I do have to advise you on how difficult these machines are to find used and in good condition, and if you want to find parts. So here's the lowdown on that. So more often than not, these are about $500 US if you're looking to get one used, and that could be in varying degrees of condition. But if you're looking for something functional, it's about $500 or around 900 Canadian dollars by the time you do it. When it comes down to spare parts, eBay has very, very few of them, and while Razer does have some spare parts that you can buy directly from them, this laptop is already in what they call their legacy program, so they don't really plan on manufacturing more parts. So they're going to sell the parts until they're gone, but that's pretty much all you can hope to look forward to. That being said, though, if you can find one of these for a good price and it is in good condition, and you just need a solid 8th gen i7 that's going to run Windows 11, boot really fast, look pretty, have a gorgeous touch screen, very, very glossy, hopefully you don't mind it, and it's actually a good, decent weight for the screen size and build construction, it is good, but it does come with a couple conditions that I think that used buyers should be aware of. You can make it work, but you just need to be careful and be wise about the used ones that you're looking for and understand parts are going to be hard to come by. Given all of that information, buying something used versus something new has its trade-offs at this particular moment, especially with a device like this. But again, if you can find the right deal, this is actually a really slick piece of kit, and I think a lot of people would be quite happy to own a device like this. At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed looking at the Razer Blade Stealth. This is the very first Razer laptop that I've had the opportunity to feature on this channel. Who knows how long it's going to be before the next one, but I hope you enjoyed it all the same. And if you did, I hope that you will consider possibly doing one of the big four, either liking the video, sharing it, subscribing, or hitting that notification bell. So who knows, in the future when I feature another Razer laptop, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.